Hello, hello. Today is November 21st, 2022. Every 2 weeks we hear from Norm Winski. He goes over his last series of calls and then tells us the dates on which he believes various commodities and stocks will have their trends change. So, Norm, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I thought I would first review what I had on the 7th, Monday, the 7th of November. Over that weekend was the weekend of the 4th, and we have AC, means after the close. So over the weekend into Monday's opening, we had Monday, the moons. There was a moon cycle to the U.S. chart that indicated look for U.S. stocks, T-bonds, and U.S. dollar for a change in trend. Then we also had Saturn doing that for U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. And then the night of the Monday night, the 7th, we had Mars changing signs from a helio point of view, from the point of view of the sun entering Gemini. So we're looking at stocks again. And by the way, these commodities are narrow filters. They only tend to respond to certain things, whereas the stock market has no filters. It tends to respond to everything. So also the night of the 7th, Monday night, we had a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus the Bull. And anytime we have full moon, new moon, we look at financials, grains, precious metals. And because it was in Taurus the Bull, we'd be looking at cattle and cotton. So here we go. We're going to look at the charts now. Here's the moon point here for the into the morning of the 8th. Overnight was the moon of the 7th into the 8th. And that did not work so well for the corn. It just kept going down. We had a Mercury point here for the night of the 8th. And that was one day from the low, from that nice low there. And then it kind of went sideways and then a higher. So you had a chance to make some money. The beans were just going sideways into the moon, and then they pulled back into the Mercury point and then popped up, so you had a chance to make some money there. Wheat was going sideways into the moon and then pulled back into the Mercury point, and then the next day was a low there and had a little bit of a rally there, so you had a chance to make some money there. And my favorite one of this period was that the cattle rallied into the full moon lunar eclipse in the Taurus the Bull and made a high right there, and then you had a good drop there like the next day, and that was about two handles, so that's good for about $800. Here's the cotton. Didn't look like it did much, but if you the scale, because the cotton has moved so much, these are huge moves here and big money, that the scale got squished, and so this is actually that bar there is about four handles or about $2,000. So there you go. So you did make a little top there, and you had a nice drop that day for about four handles for about $2,000. Then the silver just kept going, so that's a miss, a red arrow. Then we went going sideways into the moon for the gold, so we do nothing there. And here's the S&P. We had potential points for the S&P. All of them worked within my parameters. We can be a day ahead, and we can be a day behind, as long as we're not too far from the high or low price. And there we go. You're selling there near that high there, and you're selling again there, and on that day there. So you had 5 points, all worked with a big 100 handle drop on the ninth. You got cashed in on all those points there for about 100 handles. The S&P Mini would be worth about $5,000 move there if you caught that. Here's your Treasury bonds. You had the day before the low there with those 2 points. The moon, those were two U.S. points there. Then we had the moon, and then it was up, up, up. That was a huge move here, down to about 118 and up to about 124 or so. So that's about six handles, $6,000 there. Here's the dollar. Did not work on the two U.S. points, but it did have a little bit of a low here for the moon. And so you got a little bit of a chance there to make some money. And here's the Aussie dollar, made a little top there on the moon and a little bit of a drop. And the British pound did the same. And the Canadian dollar did about the same. And the euro did about the same. And the Japanese yen just went sideways. So we add up all the winners and the losers. That's 18 winners, 4 misses out of 22 for 81.82%. Here's what I had for today and coming up. So over this weekend, the weekend of the 18th, we have AC after the close. That means into Monday. Look for the potential is these cycles now for U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. We also had Mercury aphelion, Mercury at a extreme point from the sun, farthest point from the sun. So that's corn, gold, soybeans, wheat. And by the way, if you want to know any more about any of these technical terms, give me a call. I'll explain them. I'll give you a free class. Venus, one of my top points is when the planets get to zero latitude. Major change in trend for these markets: cattle, copper, cotton, sugar, wheat. Now, here is the caveat. These markets, for you to get a good trade on these things, you have to be at some sort of extreme. S&P gave us a great demonstration on how to have a bad setup on Friday. We had about 2 to 3 days of a shallow pullback, and then late Friday it rallied to have an up day, and so that sort of spoiled any potential really good setup. And as you can see, the S&P is just down a little bit. The Dow is down even less. The Nasdaq did get whacked for about 1% today, but that's not a great move, you know. So anyway, that's what happens when you don't have a good setup. Setup is about half the formula here. These just give you the time and when to look at the market, but you have to have the right market to get a good trade. Now, looking ahead here, Wednesday night, keep in mind Thursday is a U.S. holiday here, Thanksgiving, and so we'll be closed on Thursday, but Wednesday night, we'll, into the holiday there, we have a new moon. Anytime we have a new moon, we look at financials, grains, precious metals, and then we also had the U.S. point here, U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar for the night of the 23rd. And here's really the big dog here, Jupiter in Pisces turning direct, and that's going to be oil. And then again, over the weekend of December 2nd, we have Neptune in Pisces turning direct. That also is a double whammy there for oil. So oil is going to get very important here toward the end of the month. Okay, if you'd like to get a hold of, let's see, I've been doing this a long time, about 50 years. Started investing when I was in college 50 years ago. Did it well enough to buy a membership on the Chicago Board Options Exchange in 1975, and I moved to Chicago, and I was there on the floor of the CBOE, and also went on the Board of Trade floor there for 12 years. And you can get a hold of me here in sunny Florida, Naples, Florida, 239-594-3939. And Winski at embarkwithaq.mail.com and Skype and Winski_1. Looking forward to helping some of your folks, Jeff. Everybody have a great holiday, by the way. Happy Thanksgiving. Great holiday.
You're about 80% almost every 2-week period. It's one of the most incredible records I've ever seen. Norm, thank you so much, and we'll see you back in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Everybody
okay, bye-bye.
Bye.